Since the launch of the M1 chip, the MacBook Air has been my go-to laptop to recommend for students, even myself, because it's so powerful, portable, lightweight, fanless, quiet. And the M2, of course, is a big step up in terms of its overall look and feel. Functionally, it's the same, but the vibe is completely different. I am just now starting to shoot this video, and it is 1:35 in the morning. Say a prayer for me. But anyway, let's begin with talking about this laptop's size and weight and form factor, especially compared to the M1 MacBook Air. This thing was my go-to for school for a minute, also my go-to recommendation, like I said, for students. And this thing is not bad. In a previous video, I talked about how this laptop is still a wonderfully designed device. I mean, it's a timeless design, very high quality, all of that. Of course, the wedge shape is happening here. But with this, it's totally squared off now. It's totally, MacBook Pro-ified, iPad Pro-ified, just that a new industrial look. It's even lighter, it's even thinner overall. I guess like this little taper is thinner at the end here, but I don't enjoy it as much. This thing just feels a lot more high quality, a lot more modern, a lot more refined. So I am a big fan of that. And I do think it's a pretty big improvement over the last gen. This feels lighter, slimmer, trimmer, and newer, and better for what you're paying for it. Next up, I want to talk about the midnight color real quick here. I said this in my unboxing. It's not my go-to color. I more personally prefer space gray. But I mean, like, space gray has gotten boring over the years. I mean, it's pretty typical. This midnight is really a lot like black, which I like. It is also a little bit blue too, so be aware of that. It's like the space gray or slate iPhone 5 color. So yeah, it's good. It's a decent color. I'd recommend it. You really can't go wrong with it. But honestly, for me, I would prefer silver or starlight or, this space gray. What is next on my list here? I'm like forgetting what I'm talking about. Yes, Magsafe. This is a big deal. There have been times in my high school and college career where I've either almost knocked my MacBook off the desk because the cable was plugged in, or it has actually gotten knocked off the desk. So having this able to just magnetically connect is not only convenient, but if it gets jerked out, pause. If it gets ripped out, you have nothing to worry about because your laptop is going to stay put. Not only that, I love the fact that it's convenient like that, just, snap on, snap off, and you retain both ports here, opposed to really eating up one of your ports with an M1 MacBook Air. There's no MagSafe here, just these ports. Both of them do have a headphone jack though, but I'm going to leave more of the details and experience to an actual dedicated comparison, so I am going to kind of just put this off to the side. Just, destroying MacBooks here, like I destroyed the MacBook box in my unboxing, as you may have seen. Next up, I want to talk about the display here. It is, pretty similar to the last gen, but a little bit bigger this time. It has, some thinner bezels. We got the notch. The notch is no big deal, I'm telling you right now. You get more menu space area. It's also brighter as well, which is nice for viewing content and just viewing things outdoors. So if you like to do homework outside, bring up a Google Doc or something, you're gonna be seeing the screen a little better, especially in a sunlit area. The brighter it is outside, the harder it is to see your screen. And I very much enjoy that. It's as bright as, I believe, some previous gen MacBook Pros, and maybe even SDR brightness with the new MacBook Pros. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the brightness does make a difference. I very much enjoy it and think it's not a big deal, but a big enough deal to consider this laptop. But there are other things, of course, that make it better, like the design. But, I digress. It's late. I'm like already losing my train of thought here. All right, so enough said about specs and design and display and just sort of the hardware aspects. What about what it can do? I mean, obviously, again, functionally, it's still a MacBook Air, but how does it handle the regular tasks? And by the way, my voice is faltering because I'm coughing up a lung. I'm getting over COVID, so I'm sorry if I just start coughing. It's gonna happen, it's been happening. So here I have Docs open. I use Google Docs all the time. It's a web-based service, and web-based tasks are perfect. I mean, they were perfect on the M1. They're perfect here. You have more menu space. Obviously, if you go into full screen, you have the menu space up here. More room full screen, which is pretty nice. I can open up, let's see, here's some international studies lecture that I'm doing. What else can we do here? Of course, if I was watching a video, I could, drag that out here, make a new tab, do some multitasking as well. This has been really nice. I was actually excuse me, I'm dying. I've been doing this exactly to do these lectures. I was on the go, was watching some Zoom recordings, typing this out. The keyboard is very nice for that as well here. Magic Keyboard, still the same type of keyboard as the M1. It might be a tiny bit slimmer just to fit into this slimmer form factor. But it's still just as good. It's way better than the butterfly crap that used to be in older MacBooks. Another app I'll demo, I guess, is Spotify. It's not necessarily a school app, but a lot of people use it on their desktop or their Mac. While they're studying, while they're reading, it works perfectly. I can also play some copyright-free music just so you can kind of hear what the speakers are like. Oh. For once I'm happy my camera overheated because I was about to choke and die during this demo. So I'm back after about 10 minutes of TikTok. But I will use the speakers, or put the speakers to use, and play some copyright-free stuff for you. I think the drivers are new. I don't know exactly how, but they're decent. And I will be doing a comparison between the MacBook Air M1 and this, of course, fairly soon, if I'm still alive by the end of creating this video. That's not a dark joke. I'm just staying up late, so, don't worry. Yeah, I mean, decent for watching lectures. I think I have a little science video here, like a chem video.
Hydrogen, it's made up of molecules. The molecule is composed of 2 or more atoms.
I mean, definitely good for, online lectures. I am taking summer classes right now, and I have a lot of lectures that are recorded and posted online, so, it works for me very well. And also, too, the screen is a teeny bit bigger, so I have a little more room to multitask like this and resize windows, so I am a fan of that as well. Pro tip, don't shoot a backward angle with an A7 IV because it will overheat again and again and again and drive you insane. I literally have an ice pack that I was holding up to it to continue this video, but it's given my voice and my throat the ability to recover for now, so we'll see how that goes. Here is Lightroom. I wanted to talk about creative tasks. The M2 chip is definitely or substantially more powerful for my testing. I'm gonna do a performance test as well, I think. We'll see what I have time for at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's buttery. You can change settings. You can edit raw photos. Like this is an A7 IV raw photo. 33 megapixels, no problem. Of course, you got to use a dongle to import your, stuff off of an SD card or another drive. But, for photo editing, it is definitely a decent experience here. Also, too, we can demo video editing. I can open up Final Cut Pro and create a 4K project. What's really nice about the M2 chip is that it has an 8K media encoder, meaning that you can actually edit 8K, video. But obviously, most people edit 4K. I edit 4K with an M1 Max. So, I'm really not trying to do 8K all the time. So I'm opening up Final Cut here. We can create a new project. How about we do, just call it 4K. And then I think it'll be 4K. Nope, it's 1080p. Of course, I have to make a custom, project or whatever. Oh, yeah, here's a clip from a previous video, a MacBook Air video, funnily enough. We can get 2 of those here. And I can edit these in front of you real quick. So I'll turn off the audio because it just sounds awful when you're scrubbing through like that. But here we go. I can edit, some curves, whatever. Just make sure the exposure looks nice. Bring that down a little bit. Bring the saturation up as well. This is no, Pro Display XDR level thing, but it looks good. It's just as good as the MacBook Pro 13-inch was with a 500-nit display, just a little bit bigger, like I said. Decent color as well. I have no problem doing this. And having a little bit extra space is nice as well. I can copy these settings over to, this clip as well, and we can play this back perfectly. Actually, I can turn this on better performance or better quality, excuse me. And it's not messing up at all. Yeah, flawless. I mean, if you're doing like, basic video editing, even with HEVC, this is like compressed, Alpha 1 footage, downsampled from 8K. Actually, excuse me, I think it was A7S III. Regardless, I shoot compressed, meaning that your computer has to work harder to unpack it and sort of work with it, and this is doing it flawlessly. That 8K media encoder is doing an excellent job. Also, too, you get up to 24 gigabytes of RAM in this, and this is an 8 gig model. I do have a 16 gig model, which I want to test, but this is an 8 gigabyte model. If I can get to the settings here, I don't know why it's being weird. Yeah, 8 gigabytes. So it's definitely performing well. I also have a 512 gig model here. I probably will do a performance test or look into how the 256 gig model works out because it has a single NAND chip versus 2, because 2 working together are faster, 1 by itself is slower. I digress. This video is so chaotic with my camera overheating, but I timed it because I started downloading Minecraft when that happened. So it took its time and I started again. And that's what I want to show you here. You know, when you're done with your work, you know, you might want to play. And Minecraft is a great way to sort of unwind. So I can create a creative world here just to show how it performs here. Hey, we're in Minecraft. Yes, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bump up the ISO on my camera because this looks dark. So that's just amazing. All right, let's see what we're working with here. Interesting. We are getting 23 frames a second, 29. I think I got better performance last go around with the M1. Maybe I'm wrong. My camera's overheating. Who's surprised? Let me turn the graphics on. Not fabulous, but fast. Let's do. Ooh, I'll do VSync on if that's even an option. Yep. Okay. So with fast graphics, I'm getting about 55, 52 FPS. Is it playable? Absolutely it is. You don't need 120 FPS or, you know, 70 FPS to play a decent game. Oh my God, could you just work with me here? Man, it's 3 in the morning now. It's almost like, can we like not do this? Well, my camera is deciding to end this video because it's not cooperating. All I'm gonna say quickly is that Minecraft is playable, especially if you lower the resolution with Optifine or with an external display somehow. It's running at 2900 by 1840. So with the M2 chip, I'm not surprised that it's struggling a bit. But yeah, lower resolution should be good. Gaming works pretty well. And yeah, that is about it. Hopefully I've given you sort of a student outlook on the MacBook Air. And yeah, I just love this laptop. It reminds me of my MacBook Pro that I love so much without the heft, without the, oh God, like I gotta carry this around and put it in my backpack. First world problem, but if you're a student, you know, portability and just having a lightweight laptop is of utmost importance, I would say here. And yeah, it's powerful, it's portable, it looks sexy, the colors are great. Midnight is a really popular color. I am not surprised that people love it so much, and it's back ordered to Kingdom Come. That's recording. I shot the outro here without that recording after that overheated, so I am just trying to get this done at this point. This video is just about as chaotic as my life is. The camera right there is about to overheat. I can see the notification there, so we're gonna just stick this angle. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me here. The MacBook Air M2 is a fantastic product that I cannot wait to cover more. And I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to have a lot more content to make. Hopefully this was up to your standard. Hopefully it was entertaining as well. I had a lot of fun shooting it, and I've had a lot of fun with this laptop. So if you want to see more from me on the MacBook Air M2 from a student's perspective, it just shut off. Oh my God. Don't buy an A7 IV if you're gonna plug it into a TV to monitor. Anyway. This is a great laptop. You cannot go wrong with it. I would prefer silver or space gray. I'll show my silver one later. And yeah, that's all. That's it. I gotta get this video imported in the 1,000 million clips that I have to put together because everything had to stop every time my camera had to overheat. So I will figure out that logistical nightmare in order to get this to you. So hopefully you've enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.